Did you know that right after the birth of Jesus Christ, a terrified king ordered the mass murder of children? It sounds like something out of a horror movie, but this event, known as the Massacre of the Innocents, is one of the darkest and most chilling episodes in the Bible. Today, we're going to dive deep into the true reasons behind this tragedy and explore the mind of the man who commanded it. The central figure in this dark tale is none other than Herod the Great, the ruler of Judea. To understand why he would do something so horrific, you first need to understand the kind of man he was. Herod wasn't just a king, he was a paranoid tyrant, obsessed with power. His reign was built on a foundation of fear and bloodshed. He was infamous for his cruelty, and no one was safe from his paranoia. He executed political opponents, high-ranking priests, and even members of his own family. In a fit of suspicion, he had his beloved wife, Mariamne, killed. And if that wasn't enough, he also ordered the executions of 3 of his own sons, fearing they would one day usurp his throne. For Herod, power was everything, and he would stop at nothing to protect it. He was a man constantly looking over his shoulder, seeing threats and conspiracies in every shadow. So, when a group of mysterious visitors from the east arrived in Jerusalem, it sent a shockwave through Herod's court. These men, known as the Magi, were scholars who studied the stars. They brought with them a startling announcement. They had seen a new star in the sky, a sign heralding the birth of a new king. They asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose and have come to worship him." For most people, this might have sounded like a religious prophecy, but for Herod, a man pathologically afraid of losing his crown, this was a direct and immediate political threat. A king of the Jews. As far as he was concerned, there was only one king of the Jews, himself. The news terrified him. Who was this child? Where was he? Herod saw this newborn not as a spiritual savior, but as a rival claimant to his throne, a future rebel leader who could rally the people against him. His paranoia immediately kicked into high gear. Playing the part of a devout and interested ruler, Herod summoned his chief priests and scribes. He demanded to know where the prophesied Messiah was to be born. They consulted the ancient scriptures and informed him of the prophecy of Micah. "But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people Israel." Bethlehem. Now Herod had a location. His plan began to take shape. He called the Magi for a secret meeting. He cleverly disguised his fear and rage with a mask of pious devotion. He instructed them, "Go and search carefully for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me, so that I too may go and worship him." Of course, this was a calculated and deadly lie. Herod had no intention of worshipping anyone. He wanted the Magi to act as his spies, to pinpoint the exact location of this threat so he could eliminate it quickly and quietly. The Magi, unaware of the king's murderous intent, followed his instructions. They left Jerusalem and, once again, the star they had seen in the east appeared before them, guiding them on their journey. It finally came to rest over the very house where the young child, Jesus, was with his mother, Mary. Overjoyed, they entered the home, bowed down, and worshipped him. They presented him with their famous gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Gold, a gift for a king. Frankincense, used in the worship of a deity. And myrrh, an embalming oil, prophetically hinting at his eventual death. Their mission was complete. But that night, something extraordinary happened. The Magi were warned in a dream not to go back to Herod. This divine intervention saved them from becoming unwitting accomplices to a massacre. Understanding the grave danger, they disobeyed the king's command and returned to their own country by a different route. Back in Jerusalem, Herod waited and waited. Days turned into weeks, and the Magi never returned. The king's anxiety slowly turned to white-hot fury. He realized he had been tricked, made a fool of by these foreign Caesars. His carefully laid plan had failed. The threat to his throne was still out there, hidden somewhere in the small town of Bethlehem. Blinded by rage and paranoia, Herod made a decision of unimaginable cruelty. If he couldn't find the one specific child, he would eliminate them all. He issued a monstrous decree. Every single male child in Bethlehem and its surrounding villages, aged 2 years and under, was to be killed. The age limit was based on the timeline the Magi had given him. He believed that by casting this brutally wide net, he would be certain to catch the King of the Jews among the victims. This horrific event is what became known as the Massacre of the Innocents. Imagine the terror that gripped those villagers. Soldiers, acting on the king's orders, snatching babies from their mothers' arms. It's an episode of profound grief, a testament to the depths of human cruelty fueled by fear and a thirst for power. But just as the Magi were warned, so too was Jesus' family. An angel appeared to Joseph in a dream, delivering an urgent message. Get up, take the child and his mother, and escape to Egypt. Stay there until I tell you, for Herod is going to search for the child to kill him. Without a moment's hesitation, Joseph woke Mary, and under the cover of night, the Holy Family fled. They became refugees, escaping the king's wrath and finding safety in Egypt, just as their ancestors had done centuries before. They remained there until after Herod's death, safely out of reach of his murderous rampage. Now, a critical question that many people ask is, did this really happen? The Massacre of the Innocents is only recorded in one of the four Gospels, the Gospel of Matthew. The famous Jewish historian of the time, Josephus, who wrote extensively about Herod's reign and his many atrocities, doesn't mention it. This has led some scholars to question its historical accuracy. They argue that if something so terrible had happened, surely other historians would have written about it. However, many other historians and biblical scholars argue that the event is entirely plausible and fits perfectly with what we know about Herod's character. Bethlehem, at the time, was a very small village. The number of male infants under 2 would have likely been relatively small, perhaps a dozen or 2. While a devastating local tragedy, it might not have been significant enough to be recorded by a national historian like Josephus, who was more concerned with large-scale political events and Herod's public executions of prominent figures. Given that Herod had already murdered his own sons, his wife, and countless political rivals out of paranoia, is it really that surprising that he would order the deaths of a handful of unknown children in a small village to secure his throne? For a ruler like him, it was just another calculated move to eliminate a perceived threat. The Massacre of the Innocents is a powerful story. It serves as a stark reminder of how far the fear of losing power can drive a person. It highlights the clash between the arrogant, earthly power of a tyrant and the humble, divine power of a baby in a manger. And yet, even in the face of such darkness and violence, the story of Jesus endured. Herod's brutal attempt to extinguish the light failed. The child he tried so desperately to destroy would go on to survive, his message of love and salvation eventually spreading across the globe and changing the course of human history. This story isn't just a historical or religious account. It's a timeless lesson about hope, persevering against tyranny, and faith standing strong in the face of fear. What do you think? Do you believe the Massacre of the Innocents really happened? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy uncovering biblical mysteries and the hidden stories behind the scriptures, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.